Howdy folks, today we're playing a mono green ramp in Aetherdrift Standard. This deck is really built to take advantage of my perceived weakness in the format that a lot of people are not really ready for a huge creature deck. Some decks certainly are. I mean, like Domain will go over the top of you. There's some decks that are playing sweepers, but a lot of the format can't really deal with big creatures fast. And so that's the plan with the Llanowar Elves, Armored Scrapgorger, Lumbering Worldwagon, Invasion of Zendikar, Overlord of the Hauntwoods. All of these cards are in the deck to ramp out these really big spells quickly and try to end the game or just get to a board state where our opponent can't beat where we're at. So yeah, we're trying to turn 1 Llanowar Elves, turn 2 Overlord of the Hauntwoods, or turn 2 Scrapgorger, turn 3 Invasion of Zendikar. Any myriad of powerful ramp to get to our powerful end game here. The mana base is pretty simple, going with mostly force. We do have some Demolition Fields to get rid of some pesky lands from our opponents. But most of the time, you're either winning or losing by the time your utility lands come into play. So as far as new cards go, we do have Lumbering Worldwagon, which is a vehicle, a ramp spell vehicle. So when this vehicle enters, you can search the library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. Also has crew force, so when it attacks, you can do that, have that same trigger. We have a lot of things that can crew it, like a Flourishing Bloom-Kin, Agonasaur Rex, Vaultborn Tyrant, or Nissa's tokens. Of course, you only really want to crew it if your permanents had Summoning Sickness along with the Overlord as well. Speaking of Agonasaur Rex, the reason this card is in here is to sort of act like a spell attached to a creature, sort of like adventure cards of yore, where you can cycle it to give something indestructible, including your vehicles and +1/+1 counters on it and trample. Or you can just play it as a 5-mana 8/8, so solid stats. 5-mana 8/8 trample does do things, especially if you can cast it as early as turn 3, like turn 1 Llanowar Elves, turn 2 Armored Scrapgorger, turn 3 Agonasaur Rex is still pretty good. I mean, that's a huge creature, hard to fight through in this metagame. But yeah, this is our bet that our opponents can't really take advantage of huge creatures. So we'll see how well that theory holds up on the ladder. Alrighty, going first here, we have Llanowar Elves in the play. That means we must keep the hand. Turn 2 Scrapgorger, turn 3 Invasion. I just need to draw a big boom. See what our opponent's up to. My name is Rex Black. Looking to play into mid-range decks. Maybe that's what they have rolling here. I don't think Gorehound. Okay, this is the Raise the Pass deck. I think we should need to be pretty fast here. Want a chance to win. They kill any of these creatures individually. We still have the Invasion coming online next turn. Land there is a bad draw, though. Scrapgorger is going to be valuable since it can, it is graveyard removal. It can get rid of some stuff. Case of the Uneaten Beast. Whenever creature enters, gain a life. Gain 5 or more life this turn. And then you can start doing some nice things from the graveyard, reanimating creatures. Surveil 1. Scrapgorger, we'd love to exile that creature, yep. Scry, at least it's not a Surveil here, though. Yep, eat that. Play an Invasion. Get some lands. Overlord coming next turn. Scrapgorger again to exile something out of their graveyard. Big Overlord coming next turn. Gnawing Vermin. Gnawing Vermin's fine. If they have a way to give it -1/-1, they can. Or, if they have a way to sacrifice it to give their Llanowar Elves -1/-1. I mean, no blocks here from us. Really want to keep this Gorehound around. We can't block this menace, though. Okay. Opponent figures it out. Scrying. They have this Amalia we would like to get out of their graveyard, so they can't reanimate it with a Raise the Past. Nissa, huh? Yeah, get rid of this Amalia. Nissa time. Give me a big ol' 8/8. Pass the turn. next turn we can play the minus on Nissa. Let's say attack it a bunch. Raise a Patch just gets back the Ruin Lurker Bat. 2 creatures here unlocks their cases. Solves them, I suppose, is the better term. Don't think we want to block any of these creatures. I guess this is 6. We have 7. Hauntwoods would be 8. So we get things +8/+8 in trample. We make this 11, and this... Yeah, no, that'd be pretty big. I think we actually would. If we could save the Nissa, we would. We can't save the Nissa, though. What would we like to do? I think that's fine. Nissa can just take a little bit of heat. No biggie.
I endure.
Overlord coming in next turn. Another Nissa. Is that lethal? Probably is.
Fight beside us.
Let's see if our opponent has anything for us here.
Propel. You must.
Big ultimate here. Let's attack our opponent. All has trample. Get rid of this Ruin Lurker Bat while we're at it. Opponent cannot do anything about this. Dang. That was effective. That's the kind of deck we're looking to play against. And it worked. GG's. Alrighty, we're going second here. We do have the Llanowar Elves into Armored Scrapgorger. Opponent is on the mulligan. Let's see if we can take advantage of that fact. Opponent starts with a Restless Reef. Okay. So right now we can go Llanowar Elves into Scrapgorger into turn 3 Nissa if our opponent allows it. Riverturn Monument. It's got some mill going. Hauntwoods I think is better to get ticking though. You know, that and Armored Scrapgorger is basically the same thing mana wise, so might as well go there. See what our opponent has here. Grappling Skull Crab. And probably has a counter spell up. What would we like to do? I think we want to ramp as much as we can. Let's test out the water with an Armored Scrapgorger. See if they want to counter this. Alright, now we can get another Overlord cooking. Another Everywhere land. Alrighty. This Riverturn Monument has a pretty powerful exhaust ability, obviously. Any number of target players, each mill card's equal to the number of cards in their graveyard. Us here, we can play this Tyrranax Rex that can't be countered. I think that's the plan here. Exile, I think we want to exile these Overlord out of our own graveyard. Just to keep our graveyard low. I think that's one of the nice things in the mill matchup to have there. And also, just going to straight up win there with this, you know, Tyrranax Rex. One of the reasons we play it is because it has this clause that cannot be countered. So the spell can't be countered. Our opponent was definitely banking on a counter spell there. And this card will take our opponent down in less than, in 3 turns. So this turn, Toxic 4. Next turn, Toxic 4. The turn after that, they're defeated. And they must have felt like they can't beat us in that time frame. So they conceded in, yeah. Another deck, this deck that we're playing here, this green ramp deck, is designed to beat. GG's. Alrighty, we are on the play with Llanowar Elves yet again. No turn 3 special start like we had with the, or like we could have with an Overlord, but that's alright. We'll see what we got going on. Gruul, it's probably just a Gruul Stompy deck. Takes advantage and kills our Llanowar Elves, sure thing. Not the 2-mana spell we're looking for. Looking for a Scrapgorger there. Scrapgorger would have been nice. We'd play Invasion next turn. We'll have to wait on that. Emberheart Challenger, yep. Definitely just the Gruul aggro deck. And you can see the downside of getting your Llanowar Elf bolted is that we're not doing much here. Our opponent knows that a 3/4 on the other side, we probably don't have much of a way to remove this Emberheart Challenger. Yeah, and they're going to benefit off the Manifold Mouse here. Hopefully they whiff on their trigger here. Land, come on, let's see land. Just not a 1-mana spell. Can't cast that at least. So that's ostensibly a whiff for this turn. Let's give it double strike though. We have another mouse in the way. We do have a Hired Claw, not exactly another mouse, but not looking good for us here. Invasion, get a couple more forests. Easily could be defeated here though. And yeah, all this would have been a turn sooner with the Llanowar Elves had it lived. Maybe we need a mulligan to a little more aggressively to hand it slant a little more in the favor of doing things early on turns 1 and turns 2. Questing Druid. A couple of mice and a druid. So that means they can have 2 double striking. This mouse can have double strike too. Okay. Land. They already played a land though, I believe, this turn. Alright, next turn we have this Tyrranax Rex. We're gonna be down to what, 4? Tyrranax Rex, I don't think it's gonna be enough. GG's. Yeah, that's just a classic case of the opponent ran us over. Hopefully it doesn't happen too many more times. GG's. Alrighty, we are going first, and we have this Flourishing Bloom-Kin into some Overlords. So we have a turn 2, turn 3, turn 4 play. I think that's pretty good. So Flourishing Bloom-Kin, impend the Overlord, full cast an Overlord. Llanowar Elves, 1 turn too late here. Okay, opponent is on this Spyglass Siren deck. Probably Pixie of some sort. Let's see if it's blue-black or blue-white. Opponent might be running low on lands. Just go straight for the map token here. Hopeless Nightmare, blue-black, it is. And do they have a Hopeless Nightmare in hand? They do. I think we have a pretty easy target to get rid of in this Llanowar Elves. They must surmise if we drew that last turn, it would make the most sense, and that is indeed what happened. Another Flourishing Bloom-Kin. Alright. Overlord time. Attack with a 4/4. If we draw another land, we can full cost Overlord. Otherwise, we can just play 2 4/4s next turn. Another Hopeless Nightmare coming down. I think it's going to catch this Flourishing Bloom-Kin. Yep. Down to 14. This Hopeless Nightmare damage does add up. Fear of Isolation picks one up. Can't attack until next turn with it. Another Llanowar Elves, eh? Interesting choices here. So this Hopeless Nightmare is, you know, almost assuredly going to take something from us next turn. So we can have it be the Overlord. If we could cast this 5-mana Overlord, we would. Unfortunately, we cannot. So our options are impend the Overlord plus Llanowar Elves, or disguise the Bloom-Kin plus Llanowar Elves, or just play the Bloom-Kin straight up. I think we'd rather just impend and play the Llanowar Elves, though. Get a 5/5 rolling. Gonna snag our Flourishing Bloom-Kin, but now we have a lot of live draws in our deck. We have 6 mana. What can our opponents do for 6 mana? Let me rephrase. What can't we cast for 6 mana? We can't cast Tyrranax Rex, Vaultborn Tyrant. We can cast most other things, though. Yep, Nightmare's getting this Bloom-Kin, like we suspected. Now their Hopeless Nightmares are only going to be good for damage. They do have a removal spell here, it looks like. Oh, they have a bounce. Bounce isn't that bad for us, though. Oh, okay. Actually, Hopeless Nightmare bounce is bad for us. And they have 2 flyers coming in at the top. Yikes. And that's not going to be good enough. GG's. Alrighty, we're going first. We do have this Scrapgorger on turn 2, or this Bloom-Kin. Opponent mulligans. Let's see. Scrapgorger, Bloom-Kin. What would we like to play? Probably the Scrapgorger. See what our opponent's on. Mono red. Scrapgorger is a better blocker. Let's go ahead and play that. And then next turn we can Bloom-Kin and Hunger, I mean, to bite something. Bird Challenger, sure thing. We'll block the 2/2. Bloom-Kin. Boom, boom. Get rid of that. Next turn, the hope is to draw an untapped land so we can slam a Nissa. Start ticking up. Fourth, ideally. Rockface Village. Get a Lizard +1/+0. We'll block the Hard Claw. So that way if it's a Monstrous Rage, I think we still trade. Which I think makes it worth it. Unfortunate there. But now we can Invasion 2 forests. Hopefully get a Vaultborn Tyrant down next turn and start gaining life. Screaming Nemesis. It's a little harder to gain life once it hits fully. Man. Gonna make a 6/6. I think we need to block the not Nemesis. Because it just will deal 6 to us. We can't block the Nemesis. We'll certainly block the Challenger, though. All at us. Yep, blocking the Challenger. See what they have here. Monstrous Rage does a lot of damage. Burst Lightning, okay. Doesn't kill us. Gets very close, though. And did not hit the land we needed. Oh. We so badly needed a land for this Vaultborn Tyrant. Guess we're blocking the Screaming Nemesis with a Scrapgorger. I think that's our really only play. Play this Overlord. Yeah, we're just all in on next turn here. They can get this trample, we lose. Oh, they just had Burst Lightning? They slow rolled us on the Burst Lightning? Okay. Sure thing. That's tough. GG's. Alrighty, opponent's going first. We have turn 2 play into turn 3 play into turn 4 play. Nightmare. Okay, then we get rid of one of these Lumbering Worldwagons. See if they're just on mono black or what our opponent's up to. Hauntwoods, pretty good though. Turn 3 play. Or the Worldwagon, whichever we're feeling. I much prefer getting the Overlord down, though, because pen could matter late in the game. Discarding. This is just a discard deck. Let's get rid of this Scrapgorger, I suppose. Play another Scrapgorger. Now we're just all about hitting a land, so we can play an Overlord. Nowhere to run, sure thing. And what else you got? Nothing. Llanowar Elves coming. No land from us is brutal. Probably have another way to remove us here. Nowhere to run. Yep, have another nowhere to run. It's probably a Fear of Isolation or something going on in their hand as well. To play it now, though, they have to decide what they want to pick up. Probably this Momentum Breaker is probably just the auto default pickup. Just another Momentum Breaker, sure thing. Go to this Lumbering Worldwagon. Actually, this Cosmic Hunter, I think. Man, can't find the third land here. Unfortunate. Invasion of Amonkhet, sure thing. Don't think we're casting this Tyrranax Rex anytime soon. Run on the 5th land. Looks like they do. Okay. Looking at our graveyard to see what we have down here. It's all non-lands. Maybe that means there's a land on the top of our deck. They just milled a lot of lands, so not a lot of non-lands. So okay, hopefully this resolves. Looks like it does. Next turn we can play this Lumbering Worldwagon. See what our opponent has. Probably more discard for us, if I would imagine. Hopeless Nightmare, Momentum Breakers. They're gonna get our Everywhere land. That doesn't really matter to us. Must be low on stuff to do. Like maybe it's all lands and then now they can use this Hopeless Nightmare, but yeah, the Everywhere land doesn't do much. Another invasion. Okay. Well, I think we have to get rid of this Agonasaur Rex because we're not sure if we can cast it. Or we know we can cast the Lumbering Worldwagon. Have to play the invasion here, get us to 6 lands. It's a better ramp spell. The Overlord ticking down. See a last card. Max speed. This town ain't big enough in the graveyard. Could invasion and yeah, do some stuff with the town ain't big enough. Could bounce our Overlord. In invasion, make us discard it. Ooh, that's not a bad draw. Alright, Nissa, let's see the field here. Do you have a counter spell? That is the question. I think we're clearly just ticking up here. I don't think there's any reason to do anything else.
Until the invasion begins, I never.
Alright, make a 6/6. Keep a Nissa on the field. Tick down the Overlord. What does our opponent have? This is kind of the idea of the ramp deck. We just run our opponent out of threats. Or out of answers, and if they don't have good threats, we get there eventually. Each of our threats are pretty good. Should have an answer to our 6/6, I would imagine. Hido. Okay.
Don't worry, Pom-Pom-chan. I've got this.
We haven't lost life yet. If they play a Hopeless Nightmare, we will have. Looking at our graveyard. Why would they be looking at our graveyard? They've done that a few times. They have a reanimation spell that can target our graveyard. Seems unlikely. I'm not recalling anything in the format that's like that. So I'm not quite sure. We'll see what they have up their sleeve. But they currently have to beat 6/6 on board, Nissa and Overlord. Not sure if that's an easy thing to do. Opponent about to reveal to us what their master plan is. Just to tap our 6/6, okay.
You're not going anywhere.
Flourishing Bloom-Kin. Just a 2-mana 6/6 here. I don't think it's gonna get better than that. I don't think this guy's gonna. If we had exactly 7 mana, we would do it, but on 6 mana, I think we're just casting it here. It's a big creature. Try to get even more on the board against this Kaido. Opponent's a reader. I mean, yeah, not a lot of people know what this Flourishing Bloom-Kin does. Overlord coming now. Does our opponent have a Damnation? I mean, we are all in as all in gets here. If they had a Damnation style effect, I don't really think they would in their deck. It's pretty. I mean, I would surmise they have some creatures in here, Fear of Isolation, and some other stuff. They have one removal spell. Yeah, going towards him, but unfortunately for our opponents, they've got a lot of other creatures to deal with. This Nissa just keeps churning them out. Demolition Field has nothing else to target. Hopeless Nightmare probably should be sacrificing to Scry at this point. Okay, opponent's stunning. Stunning our creatures. Stuns a 7/7 or 6/6, same thing for us. We'll see. Yep, cashes it in to buy them another turn with the stun. Interesting. And they decide to concede anyway. Interesting. But Nissa got there. GG's. Alrighty, we are going first here. Armored Scrapgorger into Overlord. Let's try it. Alrighty, opponent here. Bloom-Kin to 6, and we're gonna start on a play here. Holy, are actually playing the Raise the Pass deck. That's good for my Scrapgorger shares. They mill something over, we can exile it and play this Hauntwoods next turn. When this creature dies, create a 1/1 black and green insect creature token with flying. Keep that on top though, Nesting Bot as well. Also gonna keep that one on top. So we could just play a Bloom-Kin and then a Cosmic Hunger. I keep calling it Hunter. I don't know why. Yeah. I think that's what we're gonna do. Get rid of this Gorehound. Since they elected to not mill, I think we're going to make it so it's harder for them to mill. Okay, when a creature power 2 or less enters, draw a card. Full Overlord here. Exile that. They're going to draw a lot of cards here, though. 5/5. I think we're going to get in there, yeah. Want to start pressuring our opponent. We are going to block. Create a 1/1. Yep. Draw a card off of it. That's fine with me. Opponent is going to draw a lot of cards off of their Enduring Innocence. Had to get through that though. Same with this Nesting Bot, gonna draw a card there. Okay, this Sacrifice Outlet can do some work as well for our opponents. We have a Vaultborn Tyrant coming down though, if I'm gonna draw a land. Alright, time to jam this. Sage coming in. No Death Touch amongst our opponent's creatures here. Just gonna jam in here. Get another Everywhere token. No trample amongst either of these, but that's alright. Opponent could trade with this Overlord if they wanted to start sacrificing things. And we'd be fine if they traded with the Overlord, I think. Definitely probably have a Raise the Past coming. Be a decent Raise the Past. We have a Vaultborn Tyrant starting to do stuff though. During Innocence. Okay, sure. Lord of the Hauntwoods coming down. 7 mana though, that's as much as we're gonna need, and then this Toxic 4 can kill our opponent pretty quickly. It costs 4 mana though. Opponent doesn't have any way to infinitely combo us or anything. Play a Forest, Tyrranax Rex coming in. I think we don't want to tap this Scrapgorger yet. Yeah, just gonna jam. See what our opponent's up to. Okay, yep, Nesting Bot. Going in the yard, they're gonna sacrifice it, sure thing. Draw a card, yep. Went down to 6. Tyrranax Rex coming as well. This Armored Scrapgorger to exile the nesting bot. This is we played this deck earlier when we beat it. This is what we're looking for. Ellis Ilcor, Death Toucher, yep. Draw a card. Wait for our opponent to gain some life. It will cause us to lose life. Sure thing. Vengeful Blood Witch. Okay. Opponent's got a lot of ways to make us lose or gain life, but a second Tyrranax Rex hitting means they're gonna have to block with everything to prevent any Tyrranax Rex hitting. They're gonna attack. Nope, okay. We'll go next exile this nesting bot. My turn. Oh, we have really flooded out, but that's right. Second Tyrranax Rex. And GG's, that'll do it, yeah. I mean, the Toxic Force, second time, gets to him. GG's. Alrighty, we're going first, and I don't think this is really a keepable hand. Just this on turn 2 is not that good. Let's see if we can find better. This does look better. We can get rid of this Flourishing Bloom-Kin. I think we will. Man, though. Could get rid of the Scrapgorger and go Flourishing Bloom-Kin, Lumbering Worldwagon. I think that's what we're gonna do, actually. And on turn 4 we can crew the Lumbering Worldwagon as long as we draw. Well, actually, we don't even need to draw a card since this will provide what we need. Opponent on Restless Anchorage. Could this be blue-white control? Definitely could be. Okay, Esper. Esper, pass. Alright, let's get in there. Swing for 3. Make our opponent make a decision on what they want to do. And where to run. Okay. Yeah, I could not have prevented that even with this Lumbering Worldwagon. They just would kill it with it on the stack. Forced. Pass the turn. Got Invasion eventually. Looks to just be the Pixie deck, yep. Pixie deck can get under us. Looks like we've done a good job so far of not letting that happen. Cosmic Hunger. I think we just need to play this Invasion. Hopefully it resolves. Counterspell here would be a little tough. Okay, it resolves. 2 forced. Up to 6 mana. Opponent's got nowhere to run but no target. Vaultborn Tyrant would look pretty good next turn. See if we can get it down. Swings for 2, yep. Llanowar Elves and Cosmic Hunter is not looking good next turn. But Vaultborn Tyrant into crew the Lumbering Worldwagon would be good. Sure thing, yeah. No, put in that work. Storm Chaser's Talent, get a 1/1. Yep. Come on, untap land for this Vaultborn Tyrant. Let's see it. You know that's what we need.
Your secrets didn't stay hidden for long.
Yes, that's what we're looking for. Draw a card. Scrapgorger is fine. Crew up. Attack Kaido. Get a forest. Next turn we have this Cosmic Hunter. As well as we can crew up this Lumbering Worldwagon again to get another land. Cosmic Hunter can do damage to Kaito. It has hexproof only on their turn, yep. What'd they do here? They stunned our Vaultborn Tyrant, sure thing. Stunning it is good, but we can still get this Cosmic Hunter in on it. Picks up their Storm Chaser's Talent. Okay. Gonna need another big creature here, ideally. Didn't find it there. Cosmic Hunter, yep. Skill is Kaido. Shrinking it with nowhere to run is not gonna prevent their Kaido from dying. Okay, Scrapgorger. Llanowar Elves. Pass the turn. Nowhere to run. Sure, hit our Scrapgorger, that's fine. No big deal there. Down to 17. Gonna soon be 14 from the Pixie. Another nowhere to run. They have double on the Vaultborn Tyrant would be pretty good. Let's see if they do. They do not. They don't have double. Scavenger, another +1/+1 on the Pixie. Storm Chaser's talent, sure. Fear of Isolation to pick up. Nowhere to run. I think there's nowhere to run they picked up. Ugh, Scrapgorger. Not ideal. We needed creatures to chain with this Vaultborn Tyrant. It hasn't happened. Yeah, just creatures to chain with Vaultborn Tyrant. I think we would have won this game. Another. Yep. Just puts it back on. Kills the Scrapgorger. Sure thing. Kaido tapping the Vaultborn Tyrant has definitely been relevant. Kaido's a good card in that deck. Courtyard, sure thing. Alright, we're down to gonna need some creatures here. Overlord. Overlord's not bad. We'll put this up to 5, draws us a card. Probably need a bite to kill this Nurturing Pixie. Flourishing Bloom-Kin gains us even yet more life. Sure thing. Goes up to 8 here. Kind of missed there though. So we can put our opponent down to 3. Not gonna be enough though. Since our opponent can give +1/+1. Oh, actually, this does have. Oh, it doesn't have reach. Man, for some reason I thought this had reach. Gains us more life though. Attack here, attack here. Alright, gives us more life. Gets a land out of our deck. Removal spell here kills us. Don't have it though. Alrighty, let's see what else we can find here. Yep, have this enter the battlefield. Draw a card. Llanowar Elves, sure thing. Alright, can our opponent defeat us? We're at 11. They have the Reckless Anchorage. Oh, they needed an enchantment there, I think, to have enough mana. I think they can kill us here from 11. This is 9. Reckless Anchorage is 11. Yeah, man, just needed this to have reach or something. Didn't quite get there. Oh, that'll also do it. GG's, man, close game. Close game. Alrighty, opponent is going first. We have a 2 mana play into Invasion, into Nissa. I like that. Opponent is on Restless Anchorage again. Probably could be Controller or the Pixie deck that we just played. We will see what it is. Let's see what they have. Meticulous Archive. Okay, this to me indicates it's more of a blue-white control deck. Especially with another Restless Anchorage. Blue-white control. Alright, so our whole job here is to try to resolve in Nissa. I think that's the way we can win this game. So maybe try to cast this Invasion next turn and then Nissa the turn after just to try to resolve it. Lockdown. Interesting. Sure. Now we can get our Worldwagon down. Take action. Forest. See what our opponent plays here. Probably just passing. Make the most sense. We have this invasion we could cast next turn to try to bait a counterspell out. If our opponent just jams something here, we're 100% playing Nissa. Even at just in this lowly a little bit. Like if they play stock up, for instance, if they feel like they need to change the complexion of their hand and stock it up. Because there's a chance to get Nissa down. Then they would need a get up, get lost or something. Overlord of the Mistmoors. Okay, those both have flying. So this means we're going to lose our Nissa here. But we're going to get another land. And then we're going to get a creature on the battlefield. I think it's worth losing the Nissa. Opponent could block here. I mean, we'd actually be very happy if they blocked the Lumbering Worldwagon. Double blocked, even. We got to keep the Nissa around. Yeah, it doesn't seem likely. They get to shoot down our Nissa, though. We can try to attack with a Worldwagon again next turn. Or we can just try to Invasion Scrapgorger. This Overlord of the Mistmoor in the blue-white control decks is definitely slanted to make them beat mid-range more. And we're kind of a go over the top mid-range, go over the top of mid-range style deck with our ramp and Nissas. So hopefully we can beat the Mistmoors. Forest, okay. Looking for some kind of removal spell here. Question is, can they have, if they had a removal spell, would they also then be able to counter our Nissa? 7-mana Nissa? That's a big question. Let's see if they have the removal spell or not. It would have to be a Ride's End plus. Okay, yeah, the Ride's Ends. And that would have to be No More Lies, which I don't think they had earlier. Or else they would have kept it up. Alrighty, we're in business. Nissa down, got an 8-8 rolling. Could definitely Wrath here. Nissa pretty good here. Demolition Field. Let's see. Definitely should be attacking our Nissa with their flyers. If they had a Wrath, then they would use it. They can't kill it even with the Restless Anchorage. And if they did that, they would be primed for a pretty big hit on the backswing. Although we couldn't kill them currently, having a 4/4 and an 8/8, so they might take the gamble. Feel like they might think we don't have a lot of haste in our deck. They can get the Nissa down to 2, plan to kill it on the next turn. Because right now, if they just do the 2/1s here, gets us down to 4. But then I guess they could plan to kill it with the Restless Anchorage next turn. See what they play. We might just take a turn off also to minus in the Overlord. Potentially not a bad one either. We will see. Blue-white control, like against a ramp. Temporary locks down a bunch of tokens. Okay. Or this Demolition Field for the Anchorage. Do we want to kill this Mistmoors right now? Not sure that we need to. It's just plus, like a 5/5. I have this Demolition Field in the pocket here, in case they try to get busy. And we can minus in the Mistmore's next turn before they're able to attack with it. Definitely going to need to draw things here from here on out, though. They do have a Get Lost. That was definitely something they needed. Very timely with us not minusing on the Mistmores, sure. Opponent getting rid of our map tokens and everything. Very timely. The triple temporary lockdown in a spot where they're actually good against our deck. Man, opponent has definitely beaten us down, and yeah, I don't think we can beat the naked Overlord here. Oh, shucks. We need to draw like exactly Vaultborn Tyrant into something else. It's possible. Need to be like Vaultborn Tyrant into removal spell, and our opponent would have to not have a counter spell. Just an Overlord of the Hauntwoods, I don't think is enough. Expecting a counter spell here anyway. No counter spell, probably a removal spell. Dude, let's see the removal spell. Very cynical about this game. Don't have it though. Alrighty. Do they draw it now? They do have it now. Shucks, well, couldn't quite get there. Opponent attacks us for 10. That's lethal. Yeah. That's a tough one there. Let's hit the wrap up. Alrighty, and we're here with a wrap up for mono green ramp. And I think my theory that people are not prepared for big creatures is false. I think the meta has shifted maybe in the last week. Maybe this deck would have been better a week or so ago before the more blue-white controls, before people switched their removal spells over more. I think people kind of had a response maybe to some of the Gruul decks that have been around lately that are hitting with slightly bigger creatures. And but also, I think maybe my assumption that Llanowar Elves and Armored Scrapgorger would live more often, it did not turn out to be true. I think, you know, our opponents were very, very good at killing our Llanowar Elves and Armored Scrapgorgers in the aggregate in all the testing games and stuff I did for this deck. So I think this deck is a little bit short. I think you just are too reliant on the Llanowar Elves power spike into Overlord of the Hauntwoods, or your opponent playing a deck where you're super favored into like the Raise the Pass deck. You know, Armored Scrapgorger even gives you percentage points there. I mean, there's certain decks that a green ramp strategy is always going to dominate, but I don't think currently at this time there's enough of those decks in the standard metagame, best of one standard metagame, I should add, that it's worth playing this deck. So definitely wouldn't recommend busting out the wild cards for this deck, but I think there's something here, and it's definitely a deck to keep an eye on for the future in case there are new cards printed, especially earlier ramp spells, maybe with life gain attached, really anything along that line I think could really improve this deck's fortune. Or if there's a overall shift in the meta away from these really fast red decks in best of one standard, then you could take advantage of decks that prey on those decks if there's sort of a rock paper scissors going on in the format. I think this deck could be part of that. Currently, as it is, not really how the metagame is shaken out, but fun deck nonetheless. You're probably gonna get frustrated if you jam this onto the ladder and just get destroyed by mono red over and over again. But hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to a time where a deck like this is going to be good again. Hopefully that time is coming soon. If you think you already have a deck like this that is going to be good enough in the best one standard meta, drop it below. I'd like to play it. But until next time, wherever you are, whenever you are, have a magical day.